Hey guys, what's up? PowerUpBoxing. Daniel, the Miracle Man, Jacobs versus Sergiy Derevyanchenko, the technician. Great fight. I wasn't watching it close enough to score it. I'd have to watch it again to score it and watch it very closely, but I was just enjoying the fight, watching the fight, and it seemed like a very close fight to me. I would have to watch it again and watch it very closely, but I think either way, if I watched it again, it would have been close. It was a close fight. I had it I was favoring Derevyanchenko, to be honest, at the end. His work rate was picking up a lot. He was throwing a lot more punches, it seemed. He was being way more active, and he was landing a lot of shots at the end of the fight. And I thought he was going to gas out because he was breathing really hard. Just like I thought how Golovkin was going to gas out when against Canelo because he was breathing really hard in that fight. But then he ended up not. Just like Derevyanchenko didn't end up gassing out either. So, yeah, I thought, like I said, I didn't score round by round. I was just kind of being watching a fight, still keeping track, but it looked like I would have favored Derevyanchenko, but it could have been a draw. It could have went to Jacobs. It went to Jacobs. That seemed like a good decision. But like I said, Jacobs was playing possum sometimes, getting a lot of good body shots. And it looked like he was hurt, but he wasn't hurt. He was playing possum, landing. He was more accurate when he threw his punches. He didn't throw as many, but when he did, it landed more of the time when he did throw. Derevyanchenko, on the other hand, was pressing the action and was throwing a lot of punches and landing a lot too. But he was, I thought, later in the fight especially, he was way more active, and that won him a lot of rounds. But then you got to look at the knockdown Jacobs scored in the first round. If that didn't happen, who knows what would have happened if it would have been a draw. I thought it was going to be a draw when they were announcing the scorecards. But I was right, guys. I picked Jacobs by split decision. I was right. Close fight. Could have went either way. Good fight. Deserves a rematch. These are top-level guys. Derevyanchenko belongs at the top. No wonder why he's a top 10. He's only had 12 fights, but his skill is far above 12 fights, just like Lomachenko's skill is. The amateur pedigree of the Ukrainians can't be overlooked. Jacobs, though, he was looking tired at the end of the fight. I thought Derevyanchenko was going to be more tired than him, but it looked like Jacobs was getting more tired, though, at the end of the fight. But he wasn't breathing as hard. But like I said, he was playing possum. Both guys hurt each other. Derevyanchenko hurt Jacobs in the second round. I think he might have hurt him a couple times after that too. Jacobs hurt him with body shots throughout the fight and headshots. It was just a good fight, a good middleweight, high-level fight. See, when you get a high-level fight between two top-level guys, you get close fights like this where it's hard to pick a winner. It's like, what do you favor? The more active guy, the guy that's coming forward, or the guy that's showing good defense but not throwing as much? I thought Jacobs was winning, he was getting the better shots with the first half of the fight, but I thought the later in the fight, the second half, that Derevyanchenko was outworking him, and Jacobs was lost the last 3 rounds, I think, in my opinion. So, like I said, I wasn't scoring it closely like the judges are. It was a close fight. I was favoring Derevyanchenko, though, as the fight went on. I thought the fight was going to be decided in the second half of the fight, and Derevyanchenko had the better second half of the fight, in my opinion. He was just more active, and he was landing a lot of right hands, and he was getting Jacobs to the ropes a lot. Derevyanchenko never really got to the rope. His back was never on the ropes, really, but Jacobs was. But most of the fight was taking place off the ropes. Hold on a second, guys. Thirsty. Doing that YouTube grind. Got to get back on the horse. But anyway, guys, I thought this was the last HBO fight for some reason. I don't know. I was hearing that around. I guess I wasn't paying attention enough, but Pascal's fighting Bivol, Pascal's coming back. I think he already had a fight, but he retired and then he fought someone. I think this is his second fight back from retirement. I could be wrong though, but I thought he retired. I forget after who he fought. I don't think he was Kovalev 2. There might have been a fight after Kovalev 2, but he's fighting in November 23, I think, or something, against Bivol. Bivol's obviously favored to win that. He's undefeated Russian guy. Kind of Asian Russian guy. You guys, you know him. You know what's up. But highlights of the fight. Great fight. Both these guys are top middleweights, and that's what we got. I thought someone was going to get knocked out, to be honest. From just the way they were throwing punches was vicious, hard shots. Both have knockout power, but no one got knocked out. Or at least I thought someone was going to get dropped again besides that first knockdown. I thought someone was going to get dropped again. Either one was going to get knocked out or dropped again, but it didn't happen. Both these guys, top-level fighters, though. That's what happens. Jacobs, most classy guy in boxing, pretty much. One of the most classiest guys, if not the most classiest guy in boxing. Always pays his respects. He just seems like a good guy, and just the way he carries himself inside and outside the ring. Saying that Sergiy Derevyanchenko is a top. He's the toughest as they come. He's the best as they come. Because Max Kellerman was asking him, "Oh, do you have to raise your level? Is this as high as you can go? Because the other guys could be better, or is Derevyanchenko just as good as the other guys?" And he said, "Yeah, he is. But I do have another gas tank still in me. But Derevyanchenko, I believe he is. I believe Derevyanchenko can beat Triple G. Who knows, right? We don't know until they fight. You give him a competitive fight, in my opinion. But who knows, right? We don't know until they get in the ring. But I think he belongs to fight those guys, Triple G and Jacobs, Canelo, Charlo brothers. Definitely Derevyanchenko is in there and can beat some of those guys. If not, like he had the chance to win this fight, right? So he's a top middleweight. Jacobs is a top middleweight. I put Jacobs in the top 3 middleweights. Golovkin's still my number 1 middleweight. Canelo's in the top middleweights, though, in the top 5. Derevyanchenko's there. Charlo guy. Other Charlo's at 154, but I haven't really followed the Charlo brothers as much. I've seen their fights, but I for some reason, I'm not they're not as big middleweights as these other guys for some reason. Like when you hear Lemieux's fighting, when you hear Jacobs is fighting, Golovkin's fighting, Canelo's fighting, they seem to have more of a popularity than Charlo brothers, like in my opinion. But and then you got what's his name, Andre. You got him. He's been on the boxing scene for a while now, though. I think he's still undefeated. But yeah, the key highlights of this fight, both showing respect. They didn't have a post-fight interview with Derevyanchenko, so that was disappointing. I wanted to hear what he had to say, but Jacobs was very respectful. Said no, Derevyanchenko belongs at the best, and he gave me a tough fight. He knew it was going to be tough, and it was tough. It was a close fight. Both guys had great body punching. Jacobs was more of the counter puncher and landed sharp counters, hard counters, and dropped Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko, body work was good, and the activity was sustained throughout the whole fight, especially at the end of the fight, and he landed a lot of good right hands. So both guys landed good jabs too. But yeah, could have been a draw, could have went either way. Like I said, I'm not a judge. I was just enjoying the fight, but I was favoring Derevyanchenko at the end of the fight. Maybe because the second half kind of went more his way. Just activity he was putting through for the last 3 rounds too. But Jacobs got that knockdown. Kind of like what Golovkin did to Jacobs, right? He knocked down Jacobs. That was like the deciding thing, right? So, good fight. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you thought about the fight. Who do you think these guys should fight next? I think a rematch could be warranted, but maybe it won't be immediate. I can't, because maybe there's other fights to be made, but maybe down the line again, because this deserves a rematch. It was a very close fight. Other than that, Jacobs, Canelo, Triple G, Jacobs, Triple G, Derevyanchenko, Charlo versus any of them, Canelo. So many good fights. But, yeah, good fight. And the other fights were good too. The women's fight was good. They barely had any knockout power. One girl had like 1 knockout at all her fights. The other girl only had 5. But I guess, I don't know if that's good for females. I thought they had more knockouts than that. See, I haven't seen that many women's boxing matches, but I thought even for women's standards that seemed kind of low, but still a good action-packed fight. And what do you call it? Yeah, that one girl looked like a beast. The shorter girl, she was only 5'1" though. But she was like a tank. Went to jail 3 times or something, was saying in her bio. So that's kind of funny, but not for her, but it is kind of funny how they put that in the bio. The other girl was just too, I think she was taller, rangier, just kept her at bay with her size, right? Easy win for Hardy. The second fight, Freddie Roach's, what's his name? I forget his name now. Machado. Yeah, he was impressive with his knockout. He caught him cold and knocked that guy out. What's his name? I forget that guy's name, to be honest, that he knocked out. But he caught him cold, knocked him out. That's the way it goes, right? Too bad he couldn't display more, or you couldn't see more of the other guy, but sometimes that happens in boxing. You get caught cold, you get caught with a shot, fight ends in the first round, second round. So, good night of boxing. And props to Jacobs, props to Derevyanchenko, everyone on the card. Well, except that guy that got knocked out in the first round. I feel bad for him, but hopefully he comes back, you know. That's boxing, but I'll see you in the next video. Power Up Boxing, powering down, and I'll see you later.